All right, I am now joined by three very, very, very special guests. It is the guys from the Raise the Roof podcast. It's my guy Alex, and then joining the pod this week, Evan and Gibby. Kind of like a little a round table, half 2025 Rays season recap, half Rays offseason preview. There is some offseason news trickling in probably during, and there's a little bit before this today. But guys, it's so great to be here and talk ball like Alex told you before this, like I did a podcast with a Ray forever and got the Durham Bull shirt on today. So I'm
Oh
very
yeah.
sympathetic to the cause, and I'm really grateful that all you guys are here.
Yeah, yeah, glad to
Thank
be
you.
on. Glad to be on
Yeah,
again.
thanks so much for having us on, Justin.
Yeah. All right, so we'll start 2025. We'll do a little look back. Um 77 wins. So they took a step back from 2024 when they had the big sell-off. Going into this year, we'll go around the horn. Where was everybody's expectations at the start of 2025?
Who wants to start? Should I start
Yeah,
or?
go for
Yeah.
it, Alex.
Alex, go
Yeah.
ahead.
So I coming in, because I went on another like preview thing. I kind of expected them to be in like the mid 80s win range. I said like best case scenario, basically where everything went right. They were gonna win the division, win 95 games, which if they would have won 95 games, they would have won the division because the Jays only won 94. So that would have been accurate to that extent. Um, I did not expect everything to have happened this year as it did, in the sense of like them not having an outfield for the most part. The bullpen having struggles, it seems like throughout the season. Like there were some really good spots to it, and there were also some really bad spots that just really weren't fixed at any point. The offense, for the most part, looked good. At least the pieces that we expected to look good look good. Um, I would even say the starting pitching, for the most part, was pretty decent. But again, there were enough lulls in the year with a bunch of different things. Not getting fully used to playing in a new environment for the entire year. I'm sure played a big part in that. I don't know. The vibes were so unique with this year that I was hoping that they were going to be able to contend for a playoff spot, and they showed that in like May and June, and then I don't know what the hell happened, but things just cratered. They're basically the rest of the way. They had a little bit of hope in like August, early September, and then from that point they again cratered and just couldn't find their way. It's weird when you look at what happened with the Guardians versus the Rays. It was literally that Guardians Rays series where things flipped for both of them. The Guardians ended up winning the division. The Rays fell out of a playoff spot and were contending for fifth place in the process. Like it's pretty crazy when you look at that actual series and see where things shifted on both sides. But yeah, worse than I expected for sure.
Yeah, I'd agree. I certainly thought that we'd be in contention for a playoff spot. I mean, I guess you can kind of say we were, but in reality, we really weren't. After the July slide, we were pretty much dead. We did have that kind of sense of false hope when we swept the Mariners, and I think we got to 2.5 games out with like a little less than a month. But that was kind of just false hope. Got me back in, got me believing for another week, which was kind of fun. But so I mean, this team, I still believe I've said this probably 3 or 4 times on our podcast, but I still think that the talent on this team was good enough to win the division, and it showed. Like, I mean, we were a half game out at the end of J June, I believe, and that's when the whole I mean, the Blue Jays went in the completely different direction and they didn't lose, and then we couldn't stop losing. So it was, I mean, we were right there. I know it was only 2 months of the season, but I think we did have the talent to contend with the best teams in the AL. Probably not the NL, but the AL as well. And I guess to answer your question, my expectations were to to at least make the playoffs. And yeah, it's hard to believe that this team was 3 games worse than 2024, just considering 2024 felt like maybe the most I mean, I guess they were mediocre, but it just they felt so much worse than this past team, and it just doesn't really make any sense how they were 3 games better. But um, yeah, I think we definitely fell short of the expectations this season.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm looking at my expectations at the beginning of the season, I definitely thought they'd do better. Mostly because I thought that a lot of the injuries reinforcements would come back. We thought McClanahan would come back this season. Obviously, that never ended up coming to fruition. There was other situations like that too. Hassan Kim was supposed to be a huge signing. I mean, we hyped that up so much at the beginning of the season, and then he never fruition into anything. And now we still have Taylor Walls, which, I mean, say what you will. I mean, he did a little bit better at the end of last season. So it was very interesting. But like you guys are saying, I mean, the talent was there. I mean, you had a hell of a rookie year from Chandler Simpson, and you had Jake Mangum just tearing it up, and then you had a 40 home run season from Junior Caminero, and then Yandy Diaz still doing his thing. Brandon Lowe was menacing at certain points in the season where like you couldn't get him out. But he just had those brutal stretches sometimes. But so yeah, I mean the talent was for certain there. I mean you just point at the bullpen, the kind of bullpen collapse that started happening end of June, and then beginning of July is when the team like really fell off, and then they had to keep shuffling guys in and out of Durham, back and forth, and it never righted the ship there. So I mean, some of the guys they found their footing at the end of the year. I'd say guys like Edwin Uceda were really impressive this year. Struggled mightily at the beginning, and then were able to eventually come to back to how he was last season. So that was good from him. But yeah, I'm with you guys. The talent was there, but definitely below expectations. I mean, if you look from my June expectations, I was expecting maybe even a deep playoff run. So I mean, it just matters. I like it was a roller coaster of a true shikra of a season. It just came crashing down right at the last moment.
Did you just shout out Busch Gardens?
Shout out Busch Gardens. True
Yeah,
Tampa
I mean,
native.
like from kind of like an outsider's perspective, I just remember the July 2024 trade deadline, seeing all these great pieces get shipped off, and kind of wondering how they were going to come into this year and kind of build upon that. I want to go back and talk a little bit about like all the guys that had left in 2024. I know hindsight's 2020, but like you're watching Randy Arozarena become an all-star in Seattle. Like Paredes was pretty solid in Houston. Like there were guys that like probably could have fit in pretty nicely during some of those offensive lulls. Do you guys ever just think about like what could have been if you would have held on to some of those guys? And how do you guys remember the 2024 mass sell-off?
I think the biggest one is like the Rays found a way to replace Paredes, even though I still think that him being traded at 25, they could have found a way to use him elsewhere. I do get it at the same point, but also Christopher Morel has been horrible as a return, and we'll see about the other two guys, Ty Johnson and Hunter Biggie. I feel so bad for Hunter Biggie after what happened. We were literally there when it happened. That was frightening. That was incredibly frightening, and I am hoping for the best for him to be able to come back and pitch next year. But even so, a pitcher and I guess two pitchers and then a guy who hasn't performed offensively is really not going to replace the production of Paredes. But the Rays found a way to replace him in Junior because they knew that he was going to be coming up and was going to be a guy like what we saw this season. Eflin wasn't that big in terms of like the bigger trades that they made. Eflin wasn't that big of a loss in the grand scheme of things. He has not been great since that point with Baltimore. So not really a big loss there in the grand scheme of things. The biggest loss, though, was Randy because the Rays don't have an outfield right now. I understand, like, Chandler had a solid season. Jake had a solid season. Both of them had OPSs below 700 and an OPS plus below 100. I looked at it, and I'm still shocked by this. And I understand it wasn't the amount of at-bats that some of them had, but Brett Phillips in 2021 put up a better OPS and a better OPS plus than any Rays outfielder this year. Like, that is a concerning stat.
Hey, don't.
No, this is more. I mean, that was a great season from Brett. It was a great season from Brett.
I know.
But like, the Rays, someone should have had an OPS above 750. I'm not even asking for someone to put up like an Aaron Judge level season. Like, I am asking for a league minimum season, and no Rays outfielder did that. Not Josh Lowe, who regressed, not Christopher Morel, who wasn't good this year. Cameron Meisner fell off a cliff and then went to Durham. Two guys in Mangum and Chandler who don't hit for power. They weren't going to put up those kind of OPS numbers. DeLuca got hurt and was hurt perpetually for the majority of the season. Richie was hurt for a large majority of the season. You lost both of those guys. So Randy's absence, specifically in terms of the Rays not having an outfielder that could produce, was the biggest loss out of all of them. I think the rest of them, it sucks. I do think, I mean, the Rays pitching staff for the most part has been really solid. There were really a couple. I will say Shane Baz was very disappointing this year. I expected better, more out of him, and I know that you guys did too. And he just really didn't show that. I mean, Pep looked pretty solid over the course of the season. Rasmussen was fantastic. Who else I'm blanking on? Adrian Hauser at the end of the year is, I don't really get the trade, and maybe they'll re-sign him. Who knows with that? Just kind of a weird one that just popped up out of nowhere. Um, Taj doesn't know how to read a scouting report, which like
I knew it was coming.
I mean, I don't know if you could teach someone to just look at stuff like that, but he's not on the team anymore, so the Rays don't have to worry about that. I like the on the pitching side of things, not really a big difference, but specifically with the outfield, that's what I was definitely that's been the biggest blow because Randy not only is a character dude in terms of just for the fans and maybe not so much in the locker room, but definitely for the fans, but he was also someone who produced, and the Rays did not have a guy who produced in the outfield.
Yeah, I totally agree. That was definitely the biggest piece that I missed this year. Yeah, Isak, I agree with basically everything you said. Like he's like Isak is awesome. I would have loved for him to stay. There just wasn't really a place for him just with Junior there. I didn't mind trading him at all, and I liked the deal at the time, but it just did not perform. Like Morel he was unplayably bad. I mean, he didn't offer anything. But Biggie definitely showed some glimpses of hope, and hopefully I think he was pitching somewhere. I saw a video of him recently, so he's back on the
Is he
mound
in winter
somewhere.
ball? I think he's in winter ball,
I think
right?
he might be in winter
Okay.
ball, so it's good to see him back on the mound. After, like you said, taking that scary ball to the face, and yeah, I mean Randy gave so much more to this team than just his talent. Like, I mean, could you imagine him playing in Steinbrenner, being literally the fans literally on top of him? Like, he would have been incredible in that outfield. You guys probably would have been talking to him. I think didn't you guys sit in the outfield there?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, we were in the outfield that one game and against the O's, and
We did try to
at the
talk
end
to
of the game,
Mangum though.
yeah,
that's
yeah,
it.
I mean, we said a couple things to Mang, but the funniest thing was at the end of the game because the O's were beating the Rays by a considerable margin. Colton Cowser came over to a bunch of O's fans and was talking with them, and then they were talking back with him, and they mentioned something about like when his flight was getting in and stuff like that, and they had some jokes about that kind of stuff. Like that was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, I mean, he destroyed the Rays this year,
Yeah, I
Colton
don't like
Cowser.
Colton Cowser.
Moo.
And then yeah, Eflin, like yeah, we didn't really miss him. I think the starting pitching this year was a little bit underwhelming. Not to say that it was bad, but I thought it was going to be a little bit better than it was. Like Taj was probably the most disappointing piece of the entire team this season. And luckily I think we were able to still kind of buy high on him and get Griffin Jackson 1-for-1 there. So that was still a good trade, I thought. But yeah, losing Eflin was not a huge concern to me, but so to answer your question, I think it is worth it. I think it's still early. Like, I don't think we can really tell if we lost the trades yet, just because it's only a year after. And I think the disappointment from this past season wasn't, I guess, necessarily because of the sell-off, but yeah, I think it was worth it.
I I'm yeah, obviously we're missing on the Rosenrander trade, but yeah, I second everything you guys say about, all the other trades. I don't miss Eflin. I don't miss Paredes, even though uh he is a very good player and uh we just didn't like what you guys said. We don't have a place for him on our team with Junior there. Uh So yeah, definitely do miss those guys. But yeah, Randy still hurts the most for sure to me. I mean, even I can even watch like Blake Snell and Tyler Glass now win the World Series, and I don't feel too bad about that, because I feel like we have pitchers that are pretty comparable to them. I mean, I think Pepio is like just short glass now, basically shorter glass now. So I thought that trade was all right, but yeah, yeah, Randy, we'll miss Randy because yeah, the outfield was just abysmal this year, and it was supposed to be so much better. And with the rookie help you were getting, even though you look at OPS and it tells you not too valuable, Chandler Simpson's born on second base, and if he has a guy just hit, I mean that's why we were leading him off at the end of the year. He is pretty valuable, just not, in two certain numbers like OPS. So,
I well, I was gonna say I think it is worth noting the return that the Rays got for Randy. Specific like we don't know what's gonna happen with what was it, Aiden Smith because I know the Phillies have what Aiden Miller, one of the two, one of the Aidens the Rays got in that trade, and he's supposed to have some sort of high upside. Um, with that, okay, another one. We completely forgot about Jason Adam. The Rays needed a high
Yeah,
leverage reliever, and
yeah,
they did
that's
not
absolutely.
have that last year at all. And also, I'm not really convinced that much on the return because the big piece was Dylan Lesko, and he has no control in the minors right now. So that, like, I completely forgot about that, and that would have helped out big time when July and August came around to have some sort of a dude that wasn't, like I know that Clev had a pretty good season. Um, and I know Useda was able to turn things around at the end of the year. But like even some of the trade pieces that the Rays got this year, like Griffin Jacks was not that good in the
Mm-mm.
grand scheme of things. Like he struggled, and I didn't think he was going to struggle. Brian Baker originally struggled. He turned things around and looked really solid, but he originally had some major struggles. Kevin Kelly was like unusable by the end of the season. And he frustrates me. And in my opinion, I do not want to see him um, as part of the bullpen next year because I just think that there were too many high leverage spots where he wasn't able to execute. Um, but not having a guy to and not having Manrod too, him being injured and him getting Tommy John and being out, maybe it wouldn't feel as bad if he would have been healthy. Then the Rays would have been able to have that setup guy comparable to Adam, but not having Adam or a guy like him this year healthy enough to be able to get in that eighth inning role was major. But I will say, going back to the Randy trade, Brody Hopkins, very excited about him.
Mhm.
Again, he's a pitcher though, so like his value will not translate in the same way as Randy because he's not playing 162 and he doesn't have the ability to play 162.
Yeah, you're absolutely right on the Jason Adam thing. We totally forgot about him.
Yeah.
He. I mean, if we had him this season, I wouldn't be surprised if we wouldn't have made the playoffs. Like considering how many games the bullpen lost in the beginning of July, like I mean, I could count probably 5 games where Jason Adam comes in and does and locks down the game and we win. So that's a great point, Alex.
Well, positive thing though, another part of that trade, Homer Bush Jr. just won a minor league Gold Glove award. So I know he's in Double A right now, but he's possibly got a shot of coming up next year if everything goes well. So maybe that translates, and he's an outfielder, so that's a good thing. The Rays need that.
Absolutely. We have surprises and we'll talk about some letdowns, but I wanted to start with a surprise. I'm a Jonathan Aranda guy. This was
oh
like last
yeah,
chance you for him this year because he was like 26. It's like the last couple years up down, kind of not really showing too much. To be a over 300 hitter with like a great all around, like his glove was great. Like he's obviously like somebody you could build around for a long time. So I didn't see that coming. I know people kind of like talked about him for a while, but that was always just kind of like, yeah, maybe. But to see what he did this year to, have a OPS close to 900 that was fun to watch. So we'll go around. Who else surprised you this year?
Yeah, Iran. I mean, I was in Baltimore when he hit that homer onto Utah Street. Pretty sure it was tied for the second longest homer ever to be hit on Utah Street, which is pretty sick. So that was really cool to see, and I mean, he's a dog. Clev finally had the year that I think that a lot of race fans have been hoping on the pitching side of things. He was really, really, really solid. Very excited about him. Um, I don't want to say I was surprised by what Chandler or Jake did. I've been yelling Jake Mangum's praises for a while now. I've been wanting him to get his shot on the major league roster and do something. And he finally showed that he can do that. He was a plus fielder. He had, really, really solid numbers at the plate. Nothing that like blew your socks off, but showing that he was more than worthy of being called up after spending 3 years with three different teams in AAA. I mean, that's ridiculous that no team was like, oh, we should call him up for a cup of coffee, and he finally gets that shot. So that was great. Love to see that. Uh, Ian Seymour, I know that he had some struggles at the end of the year, but I loved what I saw out of him. I think that he is, I know it gave me a little bit of vibes of 2020 Josh Fleming when Fleming came up and he had that really good start and then was able to be serviceable and then sucked ass in the World Series. So hopefully not the end part of that, but the start part of that. I feel like Seymour's got stuff that he can use at the big league level and he showed it. So I was really happy to see that. Um, one other guy. God, that might honestly be it on my end. I was just,
That's solid.
What?
That's solid.
Yeah, yeah, no, it was a couple guys.
For me, I would say Jake Mangum was a surprise just because I wasn't on him like how Alex was. And then we had him on the podcast, on our podcast before the season. And then he's hitting like at the beginning of the season, he's hitting like 330, like for a large portion of the season. I mean, he ends at like what is it, like 290, 280. So I mean, comes down to earth a little bit, but I mean, he's just a pure ball hitter, just contact, runs to the base as fast as possible, just like Chandler Simpson. I mean, they have a little bit of different play style. Uh, but yeah, I mean, it, those guys were super surprising. And then Rasmussen just continuing to defy like injury expectations and like, people were thinking, like his arm is so taxed, and they were being careful with him all year, but I mean, it was surprising just him having that 3 ERA, right around 3 ERA season. So I mean, good job from Ras as well. Uh, and then if I had one more guy, definitely. I mean, gotta talk about like you said with Aranda. Once he got injured this season, I lost all hope for ability to make the playoffs because I feel like he was just such an X factor on this team. Like he in clutch situations, he could get all the runners home, hit home runs, hit for power, hit for contact, just get the ball over somebody, He was so crucial to like that June run when when this team was really hot. So once he was injured, it was kind of a wrap from there. So I hope next year he can stay healthy and if we have him all year, I mean that surely an all-star again. So uh big ups to him.
367 with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, there aren't many players left, but I mean, I don't think anybody's mentioned Caminero yet, which I mean, I'd be remiss to say that um, to not include him. Obviously, he's kind of the mainstream guy, but
Why, you
I,
didn't think he was gonna hit 45 this year? How
no,
dare you?
I did not.
I didn't think I'd ever see a Rays player hit 45, honestly. But no, I mean, he was he had. I mean, I guess the one critique that I have of him is that he was kind of prone to grounding into double plays, but other than that, he was
Kind
phenomenal.
of.
Okay, he was very, but we'll let that slide. When you hit 45 home runs, we'll let that slide. And his defense was surprisingly good. I did not expect him to be that good with his glove this early in his career. I thought that was going to be kind of a learning curve, kind of like Aranda too, because Aranda, that was all people talked about in terms of the downside of him. It was like, oh, his first base glove wasn't like MLB ready. It's like I never really he made like a couple mistakes, but I mean, who doesn't? And um, but yeah, both of those guys just played really, really solid defense on the corner of the infield. I think like Ian Seymour, I know you guys mentioned him, but he's kind of the most surprising guy on the team. I know I'm not going to say he pitched lights out, but he had so much potential. And honestly, maybe I'm just comparing him to the rest of the Rays bullpen, who was not very good. So maybe it's a little bit skewed, but I thought he was so good. He showed the ability to start too. What did he start? He started 5 games this season, pitched 57 innings with 3.6 ERA, like pretty darn good start to his career in the first season. And then a guy who we talk about a lot on our podcast, who I still don't know what the hell happened to him, but Eric Orsi. Still don't know, like
Oh yeah,
don't understand.
he
Like
got thrown to the wolves in
he,
Durham.
he was like for some reason like banished to Durham and could never come back, regardless of how
And
bad.
then he came back, and because of the fact that he hasn't pitched in the big leagues in 2 months, he shit the bed in
Yeah,
like his first couple outings.
and yeah, I'm not blaming Orsi for that one. That's all
Nah.
on management. But no, I mean, for a bullpen, we've already covered it, who was pretty atrocious. No idea why he wasn't pitching in Tampa the entire season, but he had a 3.02 ERA for a guy who, once again, his first season in the majors, or I guess his kind of first full season, and he's pitched in the major before, but um, yeah, a guy. I mean, he had 41 innings, like 3.02 ERA. 1.3 WHIP is kind of high, but still, compared to the rest of our bullpen, like I don't realize why he wasn't up with the major league team the entire season. But yeah, I thought he was a pretty good sign of what's to come. And I think we got him for Siri, right?
Yep.
So that I mean, pretty good one for one trade there. I don't know how. I don't think Siri played very, very well. Love Jose Siri, but I don't think.
I think he got cut by the Mets
Yeah, I think
too.
he got DFA'd. So I don't. So that was a good trade by the Rays front office there. But
We should also mention someone who I think is a bane in all of our existences and somehow has existed throughout time. He's like a cockroach, I feel like, through an apocalypse where he just stays. That being Taylor Walls.
Of course.
Because like I'm not gonna lie, he wasn't as bad this year as recent years offensively. Like it wasn't horrible.
and he was a Gold Glove finalist.
Like it felt like he was like he heard the shit talking and was like, I gotta go step myself up a little bit. And it wasn't amazing. I mean, I'm not asking for a lot out of him, but he wasn't as bad as he's been in recent years, which is good. I'm hoping that like he builds on that. I just need if he can give me a 600 OPS, considering that every time that the Rays bring up a new shortstop, something bad happens to them. Like that's all that we need because clearly he just stands the test of time. It's like I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah, I mean, baseball also just finds him too. He's just always in the most crucial situation in the game whenever he's in a game. So,
Oh yeah, the
yeah,
risk thing was horrible. He couldn't hit with runners in scoring position. I'll
yeah,
say
yeah,
that.
yeah. So that was a pain in the ass all year. But when he did sometimes get it, it was kind of good. So
And he was Gold Glove finalist, so like
He was,
he
yes.
obviously has an incredible glove, and
he has value. All
Yeah.
right. I'm sorry, Taylor Walls. We're all sorry.
The value exists.
You were always the shortstop. It was always you.
It was always. It is kind of funny to just see like 2.6 wins above replacement for a guy that hit 220. It's like those. It's just all glove.
Yeah, it's crazy.
yeah, that's how good his glove is.
I don't know what I was gonna say. I don't know what Dante Bichette's career WAR is compared to Taylor Walls, but I'm sure Taylor Walls has like 4 times the amount of WAR in his career that Dante Bichette has, which is like hilarious because he's got like 400 homers.
That's
Um,
crazy. What?
So we talked about the surprises. Let's talk about the letdowns. There's no shortage of these. There's a lot of areas of this team that needed improvement. I want to preface mine by saying I'm still a Josh Lowe guy. I want that on the record. But I was really hoping for a 2023 return to form for our guy. The oblique thing, just the whole year, whether he was on the injured list because of it or just like when he was playing, you could tell he wasn't himself. It zapped all of his power. Ended up hitting 220 with only 11 home runs this year and only like 108 games played. So you needed production from right field, like we just talked about. You needed an outfielder that can hit a little bit. You thought that was going to be Josh. It wasn't Josh, but that's not to say fully healthy 2026. Dude's only 27, so guys got time.
Yeah, definitely like definitely not giving up on him. I totally agree. Like I think I said in like our preview episode earlier in March, I think I said he is the X factor of this team. Like I mean, and it's unfortunate because I think first game of the season he gets pulled out of the game with the oblique injury, goes on the IL for a handful of weeks. I don't remember exactly how long it was, and he just yeah, like you said, never could kind of return to. Not saying he wasn't healthy, but I don't think he could ever really find that groove. So definitely not giving up on him. He's still, yeah, super young. He still only going to be 3 seasons removed from a really, really good season. He had a 3.7 WAR that season. Like wow, he batted 292. That's a lot higher than I thought. Like he was incredible that season. Um, Other than that, yeah, the entire, I mean, can we just include the entire outfield, but more specifically, just Christopher Morel. I'm honestly surprised. Like, I mean, I'm surprised he lasted the entire season on the team. Maybe that's because DeLuca and Palacios never really could be activated from the IL, and they were always going back on it. So the Rays were never really forced to DFA Morel. But like, I am surprised that he lasted the entire season. He did show like some glimpses of power, and like he every what full moon he would probably hit a bomb. But it just wasn't nearly enough. And he didn't really add a whole lot to the actual outfield too. Like he was always kind of the odd man out and rarely ever played. So obviously, if you're struggling at the plate, it's tough to get in to find that groove when you play once a week. So definitely disappointment, especially considering he was the major piece in the Isak trade.
Yeah, on my end, I'm gonna bring up Kevin Kelly again because he's been a good reliever for the Rays in previous years, and he was about the opposite of that this year. He was not good, and he was not a serviceable reliever that the Rays could use. I know that he doesn't throw hard. He's got the weird, funky arm angle, and that's worked for him. It did not work for him at all this year. It was really, really bad. He was not serviceable. And he was unfortunately a liability in the Rays bullpen.
And Orsi was still in Durham for some reason.
Yeah, there were some very questionable options in terms of guys that were brought up and guys that weren't brought up. I don't want to put Pete under the bus, but he was a little bit underwhelming from what I expected him this year. I thought he was going to take that next step and put. I'm not saying like what Emmanuel Clase did last year, pre-betting and all that garbage. Like some sort of season where he was like a top five reliever in baseball, and he legitimized himself as one of the best relievers in the game. And we had that, but even when that was going on, there was still some heart attacks in there. It was never like there was a clean inning where he was able to get two, like two strikeouts and a ground out, or a fly out, a strikeout, maybe a single, and then got a strikeout again to end the game. It was dicey. It was dicier than I wanted it to be. And I still think, and I mean, who knows what's going to happen with him next year? But like, I wanted him to kind of take that next step of being that really top end reliever, and I don't feel like he did that. That's not to say that he wasn't good, but I think for the standards of what I was kind of hoping for, it was not that. He was easily one of the best relievers on the pitching staff this season. That is 100% true. But in terms of where I thought he was going to be, not quite that same level. Hunter Fiducia should not be on the Rays roster. He is horrible. I am sorry. Hunter Fiducia, if you listen to this, I am sorry for you. If you spend 4 years in the minor leagues in AAA in the Dodger system and you're not good enough to replace Austin Barnes, there is no way you are good enough to be a major league catcher. I am so sorry. Austin Barnes is not good. I'm not even talking about like a solid catcher. Like, he's not a solid catcher. You couldn't even replace him. Like, oh my God.
Hunter Fiducia is about to clip this when he makes the All-Star team.
Good. I hope he does.
It's motivation.
I hope this is the motivation
This
to
is
get.
bulletin board material.
Yeah, exactly.
In that same vein, I thought that Ben Rortvedt was going to have a really solid year, and then he struggled. And then I'm glad for him that he got his opportunity in LA.
And he's a World Series champ.
That. What?
And he's a World Series champ.
Exactly. He deserves to be a World Series champ. He's such a nice dude. I'm so happy for him. But he had some struggles at the start of the year. Maybe that was just a smoke and mirrors thing, because last year he was essentially forced to be a catcher in a scenario where the Rays had Alex Jackson play 55 games. So like they needed someone and he was better than him. But like kind of disappointed in him because I thought that he was going to be better. And then the Rays I mean, they used at least four catchers this year between Jansen, him, Fortes, and Fiducia. I might be missing another guy. So four catchers in a year, not great. Crap. You already mentioned Morel. That was a good shout. Ha-Sung Kim basically being injury prone the entire year. What a waste of money. That
Don't
was
mind, Alex. I was about to yell
well,
really loud
you
about
can talk about that more. I'm just that one sucked. Really, really disappointed about that. And then Shane Baz. Um, Considering what he did in 24, I was very excited for him to be that number two. I didn't think he was going to be a number one, but I thought he was going to put up that number two vibe as a pitcher. He was not that. He was one of the worst qualified pitchers in terms of ERA in baseball. He did not have the control that he did before. He and a bunch of other Rays pitchers could not strike out hitters. Like for whatever reason, swings and misses were not a thing that Rays pitchers did this year, which was probably a reason why the pitching wasn't as good as it should have been. Um, so yeah, that was incredibly disappointing. So all you Rays guys that are listening to this podcast, use this as bulletin board material and prove me wrong at 26.
Yeah, I mean, I had several disappointments this year. I mean, from a nice standpoint, I was disappointed that McClanahan didn't come back. I said that in the beginning. Obviously that's just injuries, so that's just like a season disappointment that never happened. So, but guys who disappointed me, like Ha-Sung Kim truly betrayed me, I feel like. I know that's another injury situation, but I don't know. It's like he kind of went to Atlanta and he started kind of balling, but then he wasn't really balling at the end of the year, but I mean, it's okay. Uh, so obviously him, and then yeah, Josh Lowe was just it was so hard. He was a hard watch. I mean, I watched most of the home games this year, and yeah, it was so hard to get in the game when he was getting. And because you could just tell he didn't have the confidence going up either, just because of his oblique injury and all those injuries he had. So that was huge. And then pitcher disappointments. I mean, the catching position as a whole was disappointing, as it always is, as your existence is as Rays fans. Since we got rid of Darno, the catching position has been terrible.
Zanino. We had Zanino too.
Zanino too.
Zanino really just had like one good legacy year, and then the rest of the years were just like him hitting 190.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
I mean, he
all-star
did, that
Mike
was
Zanino,
that was
though.
also that year. Don't forget it.
No, the All-Star season was good.
All-star
Well,
season.
it was like 210. You said he like 210.
Yeah, man, but he had like
Yeah,
30
but he had like
bombs.
20. I'm just saying he was hitting like 190 still. It's just a lot of home runs.
He hit a bomb in the All-Star game.
He did hit a bomb in
Yeah,
the
that was
All-Star
pretty
game.
sick.
Oppo field like 450 too.
That was sick.
Yeah, Vladdy also hit one, and Vladdy won MVP over him in the All-Star game.
But yeah, I guess I was just, you know what? I'm gonna say it. I was disappointed in Kevin Cash this year.
Agreed. I agree.
And I was never one of the guys. I've never been one of the guys that's been like, oh, we gotta get rid of Cash. And I just still don't think you gotta get rid of Cash. But to say that he didn't lose us a ton of games this year would be not a true statement. So yeah, he definitely cost us a few games. So hopefully with a improved bullpen, he can not step on so many landmines next season.
I agree. Like, I mean, this team had 4 All-Stars, and we were not
Yeah,
really
it
that
was
close to
crazy.
making the playoffs. Like that's got to be an indictment on somebody, right? Like, I mean, and considering how a lot of questionable moves he made with the bullpen, I agree. Like, I mean, definitely in the middle of the season, I have probably said it's probably it's time
You
to move
said some
on.
shit on the podcast.
Yeah,
You wanted him on a
You know what?
stick.
I've said it. I've said it. I've said that we should move on from Kevin Cash. I'm not going to deny it, but but that was I was disappointed, and I've calmed down, and But I will say
it was a reactionary situation.
it was. Say we're fans. That's what we do. We react and a
Oh,
lot.
man.
We overreact a lot. But I will say though, like like that. If that doesn't change though, like that's something that it's like, all right, this trend cannot continue, I guess. And I trust Cash to turn it around. Like he's shown in the past that he can, um and maybe they were the right moves. Maybe the talent just wasn't there. And but keep going back to Kevin Kelly in those situations. It's like why? Like we know what's going to happen. And yeah,
I would like to
yeah,
just for a second defend Pete Fairbanks in his good name on this podcast.
yeah. I can't believe you said that, Alex.
No, I said okay. I said again. What I said was he was still a good reliever. I thought he was going to go up into the stratosphere, and he didn't go into the.
He was the only high leverage guy you had. That was
No,
it.
I'm aware, but that doesn't change it.
He was
All right,
like,
I gotta defend Alex here. Pete was a little bit of a heart attack sometimes, just
Well,
sometimes.
yeah. I watched a lot of those. Like there was a lot of games where like I was like, oh, he's in, and I flip it on. But like full year healthy, like still got like 20 career high in saves. Also,
No, this is one of his best seasons by far.
Five blown ones. We don't talk about those. That's fine. The
This
one in
is
Boston.
this is not an indictment of how bad he was. This is an indictment of me thinking that he was going to go up to like what Alexis Diaz was with the Reds, what Edwin Diaz was with the Mets, what I'm trying to think of like other guys. I mean, Jeff Hoffman really didn't have that good of a year. But like Clase and Andres Munoz and guys like that, I thought he was going to take that next step towards that point, and he just kind of stayed. He was a little bit better than what he was, but he kind of stayed in that same range of where he was before.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Justin's podcast. He can say whatever say all the good stats you want. That's it.
All I do is I just gas my guy up, and that's what I have to do.
No, he deserves to be gassed up. I just wanted
2024 to 2025. That's a big step up. It's not like
no, it was a big step up. I agree.
Yeah.
Again, this is not an indictment on him. This is more of like what I was kind of hoping was going to happen, and it didn't hit that point. It wasn't in the same way of that point, but he was still damn good. I mean, again, I said he was one of the best relievers that the Rays have had this season, like by a wide margin.
The only good one.
Well, I wouldn't say. I mean, Usain was pretty solid. Clev was pretty solid. Baker was solid at the end of his tenure this season. So
yeah, the most solid throughout the season, I will say,
consistently throughout the season was probably Pete.
Yeah,
probably Pete.
I'm gonna clip this, and he's not even gonna I'm gonna clip this and tag him. He won't even interact with it, so I don't even know why.
Wait, how do you know him again?
So when I did the old pod with the Brian O'Grady, who had a cup of coffee in 2020, him and Pete are like BFFs. So
okay.
Did
they both go to Mizzou?
No, Brian went to Rutgers.
Oh, yo,
Gotcha.
shout out Rutgers.
Yeah, not this weekend when Maryland plays them. But yeah, so like he kept coming on, and he's like come on and like my pods, and I did an in-person thing, and yeah, I think him and I are pretty cool. Like it is what it is, but. Yeah, I just, I thought that would be.
He's got to be a top 5 personality on the Rays by far. He's the best quote on the Rays. By a wide margin, he's the best quote on the Rays.
In one of the best
Baseball.
quotes in the entire sport.
Yeah,
Like,
he's incredible.
the I was a different kind of suck tonight was maybe the best post game press.
Oh, him and Mark
ever.
Topkin going back and forth like post game.
I got that clip of it last year when he was like wins or wins Mark.
I didn't like his tone. Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic stuff. Like that's what I like. And then him talking shit. The game that I didn't go to in Baltimore, where he wasn't. Everyone thought he was talking shit to the dugout, but it was some idiot above the dugout
Yeah.
talking shit to him. I was like, yeah, I like this kid.
That made me mad just because like I'm an O's guy, and like obviously he didn't hit the kid on purpose. One, and then he wasn't blowing a kiss at the dugout. Like he's not a psychopath. He doesn't just.
He might be a psychopath.
Well, on the mound,
Not
he
that
is,
way.
but, like, exactly on the mound.
Yes, that's true.
Savage in the box. But yeah, it's just that whole thing made me mad. Everybody was like dunking on him. So, I try to defend his good name whenever possible. Again, he doesn't care. I'll tag him in this. He doesn't care. But
he's one of those guys who likes people like
yes.
shitting on him. Like he'll Alex say it again. Like,
This is
no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Don't say it
I
again.
hope whatever happens next year, because they picked up, or they haven't picked up his option yet, but whatever happens, if he is with the team next year, I hope he takes that next step.
It's gonna be,
And
yeah.
however they use him, like if he ends up being a guy that gets traded, if he takes that next step, he's going to become that much more valuable to another team that's going to want to pick him up at the trade deadline.
Well, let's skip over a couple, and because we're already kind of here, we'll talk about
Yeah.
the Brandon Lowe option was picked up, and Pete is still hanging in the balance as of 3 p.m. The deadline's 5 p.m., so we might be a little behind from whenever people are listening to this. But just going off what we saw, like with them picking up Brandon Lowe's option, what do we first? We'll start with him, Alex. I'm sure you have some thoughts on the dog, but as of right now, he's a Ray, so I'm happy. What do you think?
Yeah, best player in baseball, greatest player in the history of University of Maryland baseball. I mean, future Hall of Famer. Um, I think he still likes Maryland football, from what I can understand. So I don't know why he would anymore, though, because they suck. So um, I am like the Rays need guys that they can. I understand he's like 31, 32 at this point, but they need guys that can produce and they need guys that they can build around offensively. And he's definitely shown that he is a plus defender, if not a potential Gold Glove caliber. I'm not saying that he's at that point, but he's got that potential in him. Uh, and this year, I mean, he got back to as close as he's been to that 2021 season that we've seen in a Rays uniform. He had the slump at the end of the season, which was concerning because he had an average above 275. He had an OPS well above 800. Both of those things came down, which wasn't the best thing, but still, he was a fantastic player. And the Rays did a good thing and did a smart thing by bringing him back because they need that thing. Same thing with they did Taylor Walls as option too. They don't have a shortstop. Like I understand Carson Williams is going to be up with the team next year, but he's played in like 20 major league games. So realistically, Walls is most likely going to be the opening day shortstop unless Carson Williams impresses so much in spring training and all of that stuff for him to take over that spot. But like they're basically out of shortstops at this point, which is a wild statement to make considering 5 years ago we were in a much different spot as an organization, or the Rays were in a much different spot as an organization. So that was like a much needed thing. This was less of a much needed thing, but still a necessary thing to do to keep this team at a somewhat competitive point moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty much. I think it's basically a no-brainer. I mean, especially like considering how valuable a good hitting second baseman is in today's. Well, I mean, not in today's day and age, just the entire history of baseball. Um, it is going to be interesting to see like throughout the entire season, though. Obviously, I mean, yeah, like you said, Carson Williams, he's probably not ready to take over an infield spot yet, but as he gains more experience, like and also dishing out the contract extension to Walls as well, it's kind of going to be interesting to see where those three guys fit into those two spots. Um, so not exactly sure what's the long-term plan, but definitely like not surprised I guess at all by it. I'm surprised they didn't do it sooner, honestly, but especially just considering he was so good last year, he stayed healthy. The 256 and the slump at the end of the season, oh well. Like I mean, it wasn't meaningful baseball. It's tough. I'm not gonna blame him for that. Maybe I guess I mean 31 home runs is great. Maybe I thought it would have been a little bit higher just from the Steinbrenner advantage for lefty hitters, the short porch and right field. But I mean, still one of his best seasons is in his career. I think as of I mean, just considering he's been so like injured throughout the past couple of seasons, so it was really good to see that from him. I mean, obviously he was an all-star, so yeah, definitely good to see him come back to with the team next year.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm a Brandon Lowe supporter. Uh,
You better be. I've indoctrinated you into this for the last 5 years.
yeah, I mean, it wasn't that way maybe in like 22 and parts of 23 when he was going through that real injury prone kind of thing he was going through. But yeah, since like 2024, 2025, I'm a Brandon Lowe supporter. So big ups to my guy. Uh Probably one of the best, if not the best, second baseman in baseball. I don't really know who's hitting home runs like Brendan Lowe is, but uh, yeah, I mean, Like I said, some points of the season he was just so menacing at the plate. So yeah, great
I,
signing.
I even just thought it was interesting that like this was even a discussion as to whether or not they were going to bring it back. Like I know it's
Yeah,
$11.5 million, but like I think Yandy, I think still has the richest contract on the team, but that's I think his is like 12. But like, why was this even a debate that we were having? Of course, you're bringing back a 30 plus homer second baseman, but in Tampa's case, it's like I don't know, they might not. It's like what are we doing?
And it's only for one
Yeah.
season too. It's not like it's a long-term deal where he if he doesn't perform, like it's only for you only have one season, and it's like oh well. If I mean, yeah, we were dishing out that much money to Ha-Sung Kim, and look what happened. Like,
cup of coffee.
but
He
yeah,
basically
no,
got the
I totally
equivalent of
agree
a
with
cup
you.
of coffee this season with the Rays.
He stole that money.
Yeah, that was a lot of money.
Props to
I
him.
wish I could do that.
Good on Ha-Sung, honestly. Props to him.
12 mil. Yeah.
I did want to say so going over because you did mention Pete, going talking about him and where things might go this season because there's I mean there's one of two scenarios. They don't pick up the option, or they do pick up the option, which is a pretty obvious thing. But uh, in my opinion, I think it would be stupid to not pick up the option because of the fact that the bullpen is still volatile and there's not a guy that we've seen that's healthy right now that can take over his spot as the closer on this team. I don't think that anyone has emerged. Maybe Manrod emerged in that vein at some point, but he's not healthy right now. Useda has never really shown that. Maybe at times, but not consistently enough. I don't think that there is a guy on this team who is a closer or who is a closer type player outside of Pete that has shown it at any point over the last season or two. And if they've shown it, it's been in spurts. It hasn't been as consistent as what Pete has done. Realistically, what I think happens is I mean that's a lot of money that you're paying for a closer. Not that's just across baseball. I understand that some teams are willing to pay more, some teams are willing to pay less. But in the grand scheme of things, that's a lot of money to be paying for a reliever. So realistically, they'll probably pick it up. And again, clip me because this might be wrong in a couple hours, but realistically, he'll probably get picked up, and then if he does well enough, he'll get traded at the deadline, and they'll get assets for him. What those assets are, I don't know. But again, there isn't anyone on this team that has shown that they can, regardless shaky or not shaky, they haven't shown. No one else on this team has shown that they can show up in those kind of big moments and shut down games like Pete has been able to do over the course of his career with the Rays.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
But
with you. I worried that if getting rid of him would be like getting rid of like almost a leader of the bullpen because I mean,
Yeah,
just when I was at games, I mean, he's always talking to whoever's going to be up or is or not talking the whole time, but he's just the de facto leader of the bullpen. So, and you're right. There's no guy to replace him. I mean, you got like some confident guys like maybe Clevenger, but I wouldn't say he's going to be closer material. So he's definitely don't definitely re-sign that. And yeah, if we're gonna trade him at the deadline and get something for him because he's an extraordinary player. I mean, and if they don't sign him, I mean, I just feel like why'd you not trade him at the deadline last season then? I mean, this is new ownership, I guess, but it's same front office basically. All the same decisions are being made. So yeah, it's interesting. So he's gonna get signed. I feel like there's no way they don't re-sign Pete at this point. So yeah,
yeah, I think what you guys say makes the most sense. It would make sense if they didn't pick it up because like Alec, like you guys said, I mean 12 and a half, it is a ton of money for any team. It's a lot of money for a reliever, and especially like I mean I love Pete, but yeah, it's not like he's a like lockdown like 1, 2, 3 every time. Um, like I know he locks it down the majority of the time, but he's not like he's not shut down. But um, it's it's tough to give that much money to somebody like that. But at the same time, I agree. Like I think Jax is probably the only guy who could overtake that closing spot, and
And
we
he might be a starter next year. That's a thing. They're like
and
talking about him becoming a
and
starter.
and we haven't seen that either, like from him, like in terms of being a lockdown or even close to like that closer. I mean, it's such closing games and being a reliever is just such a different like I don't know. It's a different mindset. It's such a different thing. Like you can't
He's got the whack job mentality, or like
It's
right,
the
and
wired for it.
you
the
can't
crazy mentality needed to be
you,
in that role.
right. You can't like I don't know. It's something you can't teach. You can. It's kind of just like an innate characteristic that you have, and that's obviously very valuable that Pete has. And I think we'll pick it up. I don't know if he's necessarily worth 12.5 mil, but I would be very surprised if we don't pick it up. But at the same time, I would be very surprised if he's still on the team at the end of the season.
Yeah, that's my whole point is like if you trade him away or even if you don't pick it up, like that might be like the nuclear option. It's like, well, who's closing games? That's the
Right.
whole like the same thing with Lau. It's like these option decisions are so fascinating to me because it's like, yeah, I get it. 11 million for Pete is a lot. I mean, his market value for like a upper echelon closer is 11, 12, 13 ish per year. It's kind of like what the market value I feel like is at for a guy like him. But it's like I don't know. I mean, maybe the deadline too, if they're out of it again next year, just like see if you can get like some more prospects for a postseason contender that's a little more desperate than in the winter this year. But yeah, it's just a weird. Like most teams would pick it up and they would not even think twice about it. But again, these are the option decisions. It's like $10 million, $11 million. That's a lot of money. I did want to kind of piggyback off that and talk a little bit about just like the new ownership group in Tampa. What are you guys' thoughts on kind of the changes we're going to see from the Sternberg era to the, how do you pronounce his last name? Zapolsky?
Zalupski.
Zalupski. Or do you guys foresee any kind of massive changes coming until a stadium's built? Is the payroll going to stay the same, you think? These are all kind of floating around right now.
Yeah,
A bit-
I think it's gonna be basically the same until they get the whole stadium thing done. I think they've made that clear that it's like that is the priority, which I agree with. They need to figure out that first and foremost. And I don't, not to say that they won't make like decently big deals, but I don't think they're going to be going out and giving Kyle Tucker $300 million like that in that type of ballpark. And
I
we're,
threw out
we're
some
gonna be
potential guys for outfielders this
we're
offseason.
gonna I think we're gonna keep doing like the Danny Jansen for 8 mil or something like that, where it's a small like short term deal, decent amount like a decent amount of cash, but not like not overpaying, but like not a ton of money. So
Yeah.
I don't expect the payroll to change a whole lot until yeah. I mean, I think their goal was to get the stadium built for the 2028 season or something pretty
It's not
ambitious.
going to be
So
20. It's probably going to be like 2030 is the time is
yeah,
the timeline,
which
29,
seems more
2030.
realistic, but so maybe not right away, but I do think that they will be different than Stu was after the stadium is done.
Yeah, they're gonna go after and like I put out a couple of guys. I think what was it like Lourdes Gurriel Jr., Max Kepler, Harrison Bader, and Mike Yastrzemski. Like I'm not talking like high end guys, like for definitely not that, but guys that you could plug in the outfit and you could pay like 10 to 15 million dollars a year to do that. I think that those deals are going to become more prevalent moving forward. But again, as Evan said, and as the new ownership group has said, don't expect payroll to skyrocket. And
Yeah.
it's not going to skyrocket. It's going to stay pretty much close to what it is, maybe a little bit higher right now. Because I think that this new ownership group and the people that are a part of it have a little bit more cash to be able to use. But with that, I mean, again, there's a lot of bills that they're going to be footing moving forward that are more prevalent than um, spending more money on a guy than maybe they would.
Yeah, I imagine it'll go up. Maybe with these new signings, it'll go up a little bit, but it's not going to go up much. Uh, I don't think it'll change much, and not until the stadium situation's fixed. So
Yeah.
basically, what Evan said.
Are you guys just like as Rays fans kind of like immune to getting your hopes up for spending on players? I mean, obviously like there's random ones like Ha-Seong Kim or when you gave Eflin 40 million, but like as Rays fans, are your expectations for like mass spending and like or is it just permanently tempered? Or are you ever going to get to a point where like maybe we can get Pete Alonso? He went to Florida. Like, is that ever going to come in?
You would be surprised actually. We get our hopes up so much. It's like because it's like there'll be rumors. It's like like when Bryce Harper, like the Rays are in on Bryce Harper. Like
Oh,
what?
dude, the 1 year, $50 million deal for Harper was crazy.
Dude, we almost got Aaron Judge. They said we almost got Aaron Judge.
Almost got Aaron Judge.
Hey, we almost got Freddie Freeman. I mean,
Freeman, we were actually close.
Yeah, Freeman, they were close on.
I don't know what, quote unquote close. I don't know what that
He
means.
made a much better. He made a much better financial decision and made a much better life decision in the choice that he made. I'll say that.
Yeah. So, I mean, the hopes they still go up, but you don't actually believe it. You're just like, oh, that's so troll. Like there's no way.
It's really sad.
Like, because we are
It is
always
a
in
little
like
bit.
we're always thrown in those like lists where it's like, oh, other teams are like so and so. Like
Aaron Judge
interested.
fielded a call from the Rays at
Yeah.
one point. Look at that.
But like, I guess I don't think I got my hopes up on Freddie Freeman. I know he ended up playing for the Rays, but Nelson Cruz, when he was a free agent before he went to Minnesota, I remember I thought like we had got him, and then we didn't. But then we ended up getting him anyways, and that didn't turn out
Work
too
out,
well.
yeah.
Would have been better to just pay him the extra money than to give up Joe Ryan. But oh well. But I mean, because I guess we do. I mean, we do pay players sometimes. Like, I mean, we paid Wander a lot of money. Obviously, that didn't work out the way anybody would have expected. But
They paid Charlie Morton 15 a year. They paid
Yeah.
Eflin 15 a year for the
Eflin, I
most
mean,
part.
To answer your question, it is sad.
this is very sad what we're doing. Just the fact that we can remember the big contracts is sad. Like that should
They're
just
not
be
even
sad.
big contracts. like they said it was one of the craziest things. I think this was before the Eflin deal. The largest contract that the Rays ever made came before the franchise's first ever game.
It's bigger than the
But-
Morton deal.
Yeah, it was Wilson Alvarez. He was a pitcher. And it came in like March of or sometime in 97 or 90, like early 98. So it had been like literally like nearly 30 years since the Rays had put up a contract like that ever. Which was like
That's crazy.
that, or it was like 25 years. And that like hit me. And I was like, wow, this sucks.
I mean, like,
That's crazy. 25 years and you can't spend more than 40 mil on a free agent deal?
I mean, I'm going through this now as an O's guy. Like, a new owner comes in, you think he's got the deepest pockets. He owns a copy of the Magna Carta. He's got like $4 billion in the bank. It's
He
like,
owns
okay.
the panda exhibit at the zoo.
Yes, yep. He owns a lot of stuff, but he doesn't own a pen to sign any checks for free agents, apparently, because
Yeah.
we're still like that's
Hey, he's got to check for that wall though. He pushed
Yeah.
that wall back.
he brings it in, pushes it out. It's kind of like an ebb and flow situation. So every year,
And they
it's like,
dished out money on Basayo. I mean, it wasn't like the most amount of money, but they dished out money on him.
yeah. Oh, that was like the first extension, like that. They had given out in the Mike Elias era, whereas there's other guys that have a little more pressing need for an extension.
That's true.
Most of them are
The-
Boris guys, but it's fine.
The memes this past deadline with Elias and Preller, where it's like Preller when it's time to buy and Elias when it's time to sell, and it was like LeBron and Dwayne Wade throwing up.
I'm not gonna-
Good.
the
Elias
Rays-
lives for that.
The Rays should never make a trade with the Padres ever again. I'm done with this garbage. They shouldn't make a trade with the Padres ever again. And Jerry DePoto's got to stop being addicted to trading with the Rays. Because
Why would we
apparently,
trade with the Padres? They don't have anyone in their system.
that's the
Like,
point.
they
Why are
trade
we
away
trading with the
everybody.
Padres?
Dude, Preller might be my favorite guy in baseball.
Yeah, they got
I
seventh
love Preller.
graders in AAA in the Padres.
He's mine.
Preller, he rocks. Like I love just.
He's a rock star. Yeah, he's the best.
He's just like screw it. I don't
Doesn't
care
care
what
anything about prospects.
Evan,
And I
did
love
you,
it. I love it.
Evan, did you know that the DePoto has made 18 trades with the Rays? 18.
Yeah, and I feel like the at least the recent ones have not panned out.
Well, I mean, add Cole Wilcox to the list.
I mean, yeah, the Snell trade.
The
RIP.
Blake Snell trade, in terms of the immediate return, not the aftermath of it, but the immediate return is now dead. That is one of the worst trades in Rays history.
Yeah,
Easily. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
maybe like baseball since the Rays were in existence too. Like that was a horrendous,
Yeah, it was a
horrendous
bad
deal.
trade. But yeah, 18 trades. That's a lot.
I
Yeah.
do kind of like if you get the sense that like front offices are like kind of buddies with each other, that like they're willing to just like throw trades back and forth, like
Oh, so it's like
screw it.
draft day?
Yeah,
It's the
I
equivalent of draft day.
I want to know like Preller probably just like calls every GM like once a week. He's like, "Hey,
Hey
hey,
guys,
what you
how's it
got for
going?
me? Like, you got anything over there?"
I got $500 billion. Give me something,
Oh, Preller,
please.
he's the man. I would love to meet that guy
He's like,
You got any
how is he?
Fernando Tatises around? I need another.
How is he a real human being?
because
Just
he's the
like
man.
everything about that franchise makes no sense. They've traded away like all of their best prospects, like consistently year after year. I mean, DeVries was the next guy who went out in the Mason Miller trade. Who knows if he's going to turn out to anything? Probably he will because somehow the A's are going to keep getting a bunch of guys to whenever the hell they put this garbage stadium dome, whatever the hell they're putting in Vegas, that ever actually pans out. They'll just keep getting guys to be able to replenish. But like, I don't get them. The Padres are such a weird team.
and
I
they're still
respect
in
the
it
hell
every
out of it,
single
though.
year. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter
I
if you
don't get it.
there's like the 5 guys they gave up for Juan Soto. Yes, a lot and very impactful for the other side, but they're still good. Like they just have
Yeah.
a very high floor every year.
Man, imagine
It's
if they had James Wood. Oh my
yeah,
God.
that's the thing. That trade, like they gave up so many good pieces, yet they're still, I mean,
Yeah, now
making the
James
playoffs
Wood
every
is a
season.
national, and he's gonna be just like Mike
Oh,
Trout.
The Nationals are atrocious.
Exactly. All the rookie cards I have of James Wood, they'd be so much more if he was on the Padres.
You'd be a millionaire.
He'd be a fucking millionaire.
Um, last thing we've talked a lot about, like just like things they need, areas of improvement. Is there anything else this offseason that you're expecting? Anything you're hoping for? We've talked a lot about like the pitching staff. We've talked about catching, outfield. Any other things you're thinking about as the Rays enter an offseason here?
Sugar Shane needs to be healthy. Like this man needs to be pitching. He needs to be the opening day starter in 2026. Like I need to see him walk out on a baseball mound wearing a Rays jersey inside of Tropicana Field. And I need him to be healthy. Like the Rays need him to be healthy. There's no ifs, ands, or
That
buts
is so
about it.
true because I have this jersey and I bought it when the City Connects came out, and I haven't been able to use it
Like
at
you
all.
do it for Gibby, man.
Yeah,
This
let me
man
use
is
the jersey,
suffering.
man. It's just been there. It's just been hanging up, waiting.
Put
The
him
Rays.
under put him under house arrest and bubble wrap him. Like can he commit like the smallest crime possible just so like he cannot leave his house. Like he
He's
must
not
be
allowed
under
to do anything.
nothing.
No, he needs to be
Like
healthy.
two spring training starts and that's it. I swear. But I mean, yeah, no, like seriously though, like if he gets injured again, like I don't know how much more rehab, like mentally and physically, his body can take. So like like that serious, like yeah, him making his return would be not even like obviously his talent is all world, but like I mean just mentally for the team um and he was so close last year, obviously like coming off Tommy John, and I think it was like a week away from opening day, and he goes out with the nerve damage, and it just seemed like it was such a weird and like ambiguous injury where it's like not really sure what actually happened to him, and but you're right though, Alex. I think him coming back um and yeah, getting the I mean DeLuca like still I think getting those outfield pieces back healthy too. Like DeLuca, obviously, we didn't really have like Chandler Simpson. He's awesome, but I don't know if he can be an everyday center fielder yet. Maybe he can in the future, and DeLuca can kind of provide that stability in center field. So getting those guys back healthy, would be really, really huge.
Yeah, we need Shane. On a stupider note, we need nothing to happen weather-wise so that Tropicana Field can be fully done by opening day 26. I don't need no other
Yeah.
damn hurricane to come through or something else to come through and touch that place. I swear to God. Um, like the Rays need this, the fans need this, the local businesses in St. Pete need this. I mean, it is so vital and pivotal for them to go back to the Trop to finish out the rest of this thing whenever this new stadium comes in. They need to get that, and they need to get back in there, and they need to feel at home again because, like, we all experienced Steinbrenner. It was weird. It was not normal. It was cool to an extent, but it was not normal for us, for the players, for broadcasters, media members, anyone. Like it was weird. So them getting back into the Trop is so imperative. And I know that they just did the pop-up store, which I'm assuming is going to last until opening day because then the actual store inside the Trop will be good to go. But like they need to get back in there so badly.
Those new panels actually better be
Yeah,
military
those
Teflon.
things better be able to withstand 165 miles an hour of wind, or else we're in a bad scenario here. We need that. And then I mean, I like Nick Fortes, Hunter Fiducia, whoever is going to be the catcher. One of you guys just be serviceable. Like the Blue Jays have had Alejandro Kirk as their. I did a thing on it. The Blue Jays have had Alejandro Kirk as their catcher for the last however many years. If he was on the Rays, he would be the first Rays catcher ever to have caught more than 100 games in a season 4 times. No Rays catcher has ever caught more than 100 games in a season 3 years. And he's done it 4 years. If he was on the Rays right now, he'd be 20 games away from playing the most amount of games ever in a Rays uniform. They haven't had a guy who has been able to be that Mr. Longevity dude. Mike Zunino has the most homers by a Rays catcher ever, and he's got like 50, which like that's horrible. I don't care if you've been playing for 30 years or whatever it is. That's really bad. So like they need something. We don't need to have this carousel of guys that's going in for another year. They've had, I think, 12 different players since 2019 alone who have played more than 25 games or 20 or 25 games in a season in the catcher position for the Rays. Like, that's horrible. You need to have that's like 2 guys per season that you're averaging on that. I mean, that's really bad. So if they can find that, they can find some way to do that, then we're in a good spot. If both of them can become serviceable guys, we're in a good spot. Gibby, I feel like I'm taking too much of your time.
I mean, yeah, the Trop, hopefully it's all fixed up. I mean, that's huge. I hope our pitching staff can adjust from going to, I hope the Steinbrenner to Trop effect has some sort of good defensive effect for the confidence of our pitchers, because obviously you're playing in a small ballpark that where you can get, home runs that won't happen anywhere else. So hopefully that kind of being back in the Trop kind of re-solidifies our defense and our pitching. And that's mostly what I'll say there.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point.
Going back to the catcher position, hearing some O's fan, we'll take Adley off your hands if you're not happy with him. Nothing.
We can give you guys Hunter Fiducia. I've heard that he's pretty good.
Yeah, he's a 30-year-old rookie catcher. I mean, what's wrong with that?
Yeah, just forget everything Alex said about him 30 minutes ago.
Austin Barnes is basically the Johnny Bench of modern day baseball. So I mean, it's really difficult.
Hunter Fiducia is somewhere like got the headphones on. He's just listening to all of us just like talk shit about him. He's like, yeah.
It's like the was like the LeBron or like the MJ thing where he's just like listening to stuff and he's like in his locker room.
He's gonna come back next year and hit 30.
Oh my God! If he hit 3 home runs, I'd be happy.
At first catcher, you never know. If he hit 3 home runs,
3 home runs,
dude. Like, what's his face? Danny Jansen hitting double-digit home runs last season was like a revelation because the Rays don't get that from the catcher position. So I was
getting shades of Zanino Jansen, and we fucking traded him.
Do we re-sign Jansen? Like, he is a free agent.
I'm pretty sure the Brewers picked up his option.
Oh, did he have an option attached?
Yeah.
Okay. Never mind.
I know, it's a tragic scene.
That would have been fun.
It's not like they don't need him because they have like a top 5 catcher in baseball right now.
Yeah, we'll take Contreras too.
Yeah, we'll take all of them.
Adley and Contreras.
You know what? The Rays need Will Smith. So just give us a Will Smith and then we'll win a World Series next year. That's been the vibe for the last 6. So,
is that too much to ask for? Just give us like come on.
I can't believe, man, that World Series, you know what? Congrats to all the former Rays that won a title. Andrew Friedman has been essentially turned into Satan because the Rays allowed him to be unleashed on the baseball world, and that was perhaps the worst thing that's ever been done.
No, not just unleashed, unlimited money.
He's basically he's like one of the smartest dudes in the world, and then you put him on a team that's got like blank check money. And this is what has happened. This is the fault of baseball. It's not the Rays' fault.
Yeah, it is interesting seeing just like every guy go from Tampa get poached. Even like the Nationals just hired like a player development guy as a manager. So like everybody, it's, you know, Miami's trying it with that Bendix guy who gives me weird vibes. Like there's just you ever watch him talk? You ever watch him talk? I get weird vibes from him.
I love him. He's the strangest human being ever because he doesn't look like he should be a baseball executive. And he is. And like the Marlins were not bad this year.
No,
like,
he's good at what he does. I just don't.
Good.
I just want to I don't want to listen to him talk.
He's got weird vibes, but I mean, like, think about how crazy the whole thing is with the Rays. I think like 6 managers next season are going to be former Rays players and/or coaches or someone else. You have all of the executives around baseball that have been formed. Like Hein Bloom is now with the Cardinals. Bendix is with the Marlins. Friedman's with the Dodgers. Obviously,
never forget James Click, who ridiculous.
Who's he with now?
Well, he's with the Blue Jays now, but shockingly enough, I mean, but
was with the Astros.
That ridiculous story where apparently they could poach guys who were from other teams during like after their scandal. It's like, okay, then we were the ones who actually got punished for that. It made no sense how that was like allowed, but continue, Alex.
Yeah, so like that's like 4 different executives that I'm thinking of just off the jump, plus 6 managers. So that's like a fifth of baseball, and then like a fifth of baseball, and then like an eighth of baseball or whatever it is. Like I mean, I hate to say this. This is gonna sound so douchey. The baseball world legitimately revolves around the Tampa Bay Rays, and not in the sense of the Rays being, you know, this overly world power that has dominated the league. If you look at some of the best teams in this league and what they've been able to do and who they've been surrounded by, those people have either been associated with the Rays at some point or were involved with the Rays at some point. Like, it is insane the amount of pull that the Rays have had without any sort of a notable achievement in their franchise history other than getting to the World Series twice. Like, they have no World Series titles, none of that. But somehow, some way, every other person in existence has found a way to be successful in every other facet of the world while being involved with the Rays. Like, it makes no sense. Like, the Dodgers, the Dodgers are a perfect example of that. The Yankees are probably the worst example of that because I don't really know if the Yankees know what the Yankees are doing at this point. Like Anthony Volpe, like that, you know, that speaks for itself right there. He's not good, but yeah, it's like it's shocking. It's legitimately shocking how much that's the case and how much teams want to be what the Rays are. I mean, the Nationals are the next team to do that. Like Paul Taboni, I know wasn't part of that, but I think that he might have been part of it when Hein Bloom was with the Red Sox, or maybe got insight from that. Now Blake Butera, who was part of like one of the best recent dynasties in Carolina League history for those who care about single A baseball. The Charleston River Dogs were like 3-time back-to-back league champions. He was the manager for 2 of those. He was the director of player development for the Rays. Like all these teams. I mean, Derek Shelton, the freaking Twins just hired him back. He's, you know, former salesman / because that stupid commercial he did, but that / former Pirates man. Like, it's crazy.
The most transformational team in baseball.
And we ain't got shit. I just want something.
We're getting the trot back. We're getting the trot back.
Yeah, thank God
we're gonna get our banners back up too. Don't worry about it. 2000.
I hope that,
wild card. There you are.
I mean, the Trop is, you know, I do wonder how much of an impact just being at the Trop will be for this team next year. Like, I legitimately think it could have way more of an impact than any of us think, which I think is awesome because I know a lot of people shit on that place. In my opinion, it's not really valid. A lot of it's just a bunch of garbage because it's just piling on it. But I hope that people realize just how important that place is, especially for this team to have some sort of a semblance of normalcy. And hopefully that translates into them being good in 26.
I read a story. It was like Pepio had to take like 1 million electrolytes. He was just drinking water. He was drinking like a water bottle every half inning.
Yeah, he went through like 4 different jerseys in a game.
Yeah, just the outside effect playing in Tampa in the summertime. I think guys will be very happy to be 72 degrees.
I mean, Gibby, you experienced it for like God knows how many games you went to.
Oh yeah, all those day games were just terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't wish anybody to be out because I would just go to the concourse and like watch the game on TV and I'll look occasionally, and all that. And
Yeah, no,
those guys
it's horrible.
it is actually horrible. Like the heat index. If you just ever went to Raymond James and like just how like the sun just beats on you there, it's awful. It was terrible. I can't wait for the Trop personally.
Yeah, I think
I live right next to Steinbrenner. I live right next to Steinbrenner, and I can't wait for the Trop.
You can't wait to drive across the bridge.
I can't wait to drive across 50-minute traffic on the bridge,
just so I can not be sweaty.
Exactly.
I mean, it's a beautiful thing to be.
Yeah, just being comfortable.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's a good place to end it, though. We'll look optimistic about 2026. Who knows what will happen? I didn't think the Toronto Blue Jays would, go to the World Series. So, anything could happen in. Yeah,
should have won.
The 1 year we got a series tie with them.
That could be a banner.
Didn't do it. Yeah,
that could be a banner.
That could be a banner.
You need new banners apparently because the other ones got blown away. But
yeah, I was gonna say you could add some new stuff in there.
Transitive property, good as the AL pennant winning team.
Yeah.
Dudes, it's been incredible. Thank you so much. I love talking Rays ball. This is one of the teams with my MLB TV. I always have them on. So it feels good to flex some of my ball knowledge with some fellow Rays ball knowers. So appreciate the time.
Thanks so much, Justin. Good luck to those next season too.